Yo, what's up, everybody? This is TA from Noble Sports Entertainment. We're going to talk about the Lions must find talent at all costs. That's the name of this video. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about the Detroit Lions. All right, guys, let's do it. Now, the Detroit Lions, we know they got talent on the team, but we know we're missing the key element to this. And as I said before in videos in times of old, I talked about the dog mentality. And I'm going to continue to stress that because the dog mentality is that mentality to go out there to do whatever it takes to make plays and to put your team in the best position to win games. And Bob Quin and Patricia is going to have to take that pencil out of his ear, and they're going to have to really go to work this offseason. The Detroit Lions went 6-10 on the season. Definitely the season went wrong for us. We thought that it was going to be a season where they would at least go 10-6, but I was wrong, guys, and I'm sorry about that on the predictions. I thought that the Lions would go 10-6. I thought that the Lions would win one more game than what they won the previous season under the helm of Jim Caldwell. But nevertheless to say, the Detroit Lions must find talent, and we know that as a culture, Detroit needs to learn how to win, and they got to bring in guys that want to win for one. Then you got to bring in guys that are good locker room guys. But not only that, you have to do something transcendent and something that's paramount, or should I say something that is a paradigm shift, as you would like to say. They're gonna have to go out and find talent, and you're gonna have to find guys that want to win and want to see the Detroit Lions be successful. And if that starts with making a great acquisition, going after a Antonio Brown or a Odell Beckham. Now, both of these guys can be basket cases at times with their decision making. Things that they do sometimes are held very questionable, because Antonio Brown, now the thing on him is he's not a good locker room guy, but a very talented and a great wide receiver, and one of the best wide receivers right now in the game. And Odell Beckham, same thing, great wide receiver, but Odell Beckham has a lot of antics on the sidelines, and sometimes it's very immature. But the thing of the Detroit Lions is you have to find out. You know what I mean? I don't know if they would go out and trade Marvin Jones. You know, Marvin Jones didn't have his greatest season so far with the Lions because of injury, and I'm not going to hold that against him. But at the same time, you want to see these guys grow. We know that Kenny Golladay is eventually going to be the number one guy. He's already the number one guy. And the Detroit Lions must, via free agency and draft, really this offseason, they're going to have to scout talent like never before. Because for most of it, guys, I think that the Detroit Lions is on the defensive side of the ball first and foremost. So when the Lions pick that number 8 pick, I'm looking for a defensive guy. I'm looking for them to pick up a defensive guy. You know, whether it's a pass rusher or corner or the best player available to them. I'm looking for these guys to get a dog. Somebody that's going to transcend and be that player that is able to take this team into the next phase where they're trying to go. And Bob Quin, I know that he's trying to build a winner out on the field. And I know that Bob Quin is trying to get these guys to go in the right direction. And he was probably not really thrilled with the season that they had. The Fords were probably not thrilled with the season that they had. You know, the thing about the Lions is, yeah, they fill up the seats every Sunday, but we're not winning any games. You know, Matthew Stafford did not have his best season this year, guys. And we know that. As fans, we know that Matthew Stafford did not have the best season. He got sacked a lot this season. And they're going to have to find guys that are able to gel together and play as a unit. But number one thing that I see is finding those playmakers on defense. Because if you got a great defense out on the field, you're able to do so much, man. Ask the teams that got great defensive players, what are they able to do? The guys are able to make plays. If you got a Khalil Mack on your team, if you got a Von Miller on your team, or you got an Aaron Donald on your team can make some type of noise because these guys are once in a lifetime generational talents. And that's what the Detroit Lions need to be looking for in this year's draft. You need to go out and find guys that transcend time and space. But not only that, these guys can be franchise guys. They can be the face of the franchise. And these guys can make history by being one of the best players that Detroit Lions have had in a long time. And you have to find Darius Slay some help on the cornerback position. They have to find talent. Nevin Lawson and Tease Tabor were they had a really rocky and bad season, and they could not really cover anybody, and they couldn't even stop anybody. So you end up having to bring up Mike Ford to the team, and he did decent for what it's worth. Mike Ford did decent, so he should have an opportunity to compete for the job. I don't know if he'll get it, but he should have that opportunity to compete. But I'm looking at guys like Greedy Williams. I'm looking at guys like Baker and Love and some of the best corners in the nation. You have to go out and find talent on this team. And if the Detroit Lions want to make noise as a team, it starts with defense. Being able to have a defense. And I know the biggest thing last season where we were so much wrapped up with the running back. Now we finally have a running back. I wouldn't be opposed to the Lions getting another running back in here. We need some young guys in here. And if they're going to continue to do the run by committee situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Zach Zenner wouldn't pan out. He would pan out. Zach Zenner came along after they cut him, and he played excellent for the Detroit Lions when he came back. So you could use Zenner and Kerryon Johnson. But they definitely need to go out against some young talent. And maybe if they would have kept Tion Green, who knows what could have happened. Tion Green and Kerryon Johnson in the backfield. You know, we appreciate LeGarrette Blount for coming on the team this season because he didn't have to. And we appreciate him with his leadership and his mentorship with the youth on the team and the younger running backs. But we might have to go younger. And we gotta find talent this year, guys. That is what the Detroit Lions, Bob Quin and Matt Patricia need to sit down. Right now, they should be sitting down in each other's homes or whatever they're doing, or just being able to vacation together and talk. How are they going to get this franchise to be in the right position to get talent? And, you know, a lot of us kind of want I'm going to just say it like this. Some people wanted the Lions to tank and some people didn't. You know, I did want the Lions to get a good position in this draft. And I wanted them to be in that 5, you know what I'm saying? You know, even without tanking. I wanted them to be in a position to get the best possible player that this team can get and that money can buy. And the Detroit Lions are going to have to figure out a way to do that. But in the offseason, it's going to be key and vital for the Detroit Lions to find talent. And if you have to trade a guy, whatever you got to do to find talent on this team to make Matthew Stafford I'm going to say this, to light a fire under Matthew Stafford's butt, you got to do it. Even if it's drafting a quarterback, you have to find a way to make Matthew Stafford play better. And he should be pushed because he did not have the best season. He started out very rocky. So the Lions need to do the homework in the offseason to get the best possible talent that they can get. Whether they're trading guys, it doesn't even matter because the team is being revamped anyway. After they traded Golden Tate, the team is starting to look a little bit different. And I don't know if they'll go after Golden Tate in the offseason and try to bring him back. I mean, they could, but a lot of people might want to see what Brandon Powell can do. We want to see what the Detroit Lions are going to do in the offseason because it's vital for this team to get into the right direction and go into the right direction. And Bob Quin and Matt Patricia must do that this offseason. They must hang out every day and they must have an opportunity to change the culture in Detroit from losing to winning. All right, you guys, I am TA of Noble Sports Entertainment. I will be back to you soon with another video. But until then, I'm out of here. Peace.